Welcome back. I got an important topic tonight. It's going to be kind of tricky. I'm hoping that you guys will be open to this because I do believe that these things can happen. Without further ado, let me get into it. So tonight's video is going to be real quick. It's going to be about a book called The Great Controversy. And the author's name is Ellen, Ellen White, White. So this is what I found in this book. You guys can go to your local library or order it off of Amazon. But check this out. Many will be confronted by spirits of devils personating beloved relatives or friends declaring the most dangerous heresies. These visitants will appear to our tender sympathies and will work miracles to sustain their pretensions. We must be prepared to withstand them with the Bible truth that the dead know not anything and that they that appear are spirits of devils. Satanic agencies in human form will take part in this last great conflict to oppose the building up of the kingdom of Yah. And heavenly angels in human disguise will be on the field of action. These two opposing parties will continue to exist till the closing up of the last great chapter in this world history. Maranatha, page 167. Now, I want to tell you guys, like I told you yesterday, I've done, I believe, a sermon on this before, but this is just a couple of touch-ups. Now, let's go ahead and dive into what this basically means. From what I gathered, basically, some of our loved ones, and I know, and I'm not saying all of them, but guys, let's start looking at our relatives closely. Once again, not everybody's a clone. Not everybody's out to deceive us, but you want to be careful. Now, this is why I say this. If this book, which was written decades and years ago, this makes sense. Now, some will say, well, why would the government, why would they want to clone our family members? Listen, they know Yah is real. They will go to any extreme and every extreme to get you to go to hell with them. And when I say them, I'm talking about them who made deals with the devil for fame and fortune or what have you so they can live lavishly on earth. They know Yah is real. This is why they go so hard to push him away from us. They try to make him seem fake. And then they always want to come back to, well, if God was real, well, where was he during slavery and all that? Now, it is sad to say this, that some of our brothers and sisters in slavery had suffered, some pain. But the closest thing I could come up with biblically, as it mentioned before, because in the Bible it states numerous of times, Yah gave them over to evil people like the Philistines and what have you, because Israel wouldn't obey him. He gave them time and time again. Nope, they didn't want to obey. They didn't want to listen. So Yah says, you know what? Since you don't want to listen to me, I'm going to show you something until you get the picture here. And you're going to feel a little pain for now, but eventually this will wake you up. Hopefully you can turn back to me. Now, this is what another thing I want to say real quick about this. If you have dreams of dead relatives, now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't think about them. Yes, we love our relatives. Yes, we do miss them, and I get that. But if you have dreams about dead relatives coming to you and telling you secrets of life and things, listen, rebuke it right now in the name of Yahuwah HaMashiach. These are demons, aka monitoring spirits, here to deceive you. That's not your love. That's not your uncle. That's not your grandmother. That's a demon. That is a demon. And the reason why I'm screaming like this is because I was deceived once into this. And let me go ahead and put this out there too. A lot of people want to say, well, and I know I'm all over the place. Listen, I find it strange, and I know the government was behind this too. I listen to a lot of testimonies on YouTube, and I find it kind of odd that, and I was included in this as well, there are a lot of people who witnessed New Age, which I didn't go deep into the tarot cards, but I got tricked into the angel numbers and things like that, these dangerous heresies. I find it weird that all this happened during COVID. Most of the testimonies that I heard all saying the same thing, during COVID. So they knew they were going to use COVID as a distraction. And they said, well, these kids are going to be at home bored. So let's push our doctrine of New Age, which is basically manifestation, channeling, being your own God, etc., etc. You guys know that. Now, last but not least, I got a couple more points. I'm going to wrap this up. And some would say too, because I hear this a lot. Well, why would they waste money on clone? And we're not famous, of course. I'm talking about us regular people. But I hear this. Well, why would the government clone our relatives? You're a nobody. You're not famous. Listen, they waste money on guns. They waste money on tanks. They waste money on war. They waste money relentlessly on things that don't matter. You don't think that they want to get us to go to hell with them? And this is another thing too. I'm going to tie this in there. The government, or AKA Satan, however you want to put this, they want to be like Yah. Yah is everywhere at all times, all 50 states, all countries. Yah is everywhere at one time. Satan is a copycat. So you know what he does? He uses things like flies, birds, technology, cell phones, TVs, etc. to monitor on us. Now, where I'm going with this is this. The TVs and our cell phones and stuff that monitor us, this information, I don't know who the person or who the people are getting this, but this information is going back to them. And these sick government people are sitting back saying, well, this man looks like a devoted believer. This sister looks like a devoted believer. Let's see how we can try to persuade her or him into going to hell. Let's clone one of their loved ones, try to trick them into these dangerous heresies, and that way we can go to hell, all be together, and that way we can just burn forever and ever. Family, this is not a time to play with our faith. I've had people in my family who I've questioned, and they start to do this, I've heard, after surgeries. So if you guys, and people do have to have surgery, but if you guys have relatives and you notice like a change in them after a couple of surgeries, you may want to look deeper into that, because that may not be them. And I know the government will pull this off, because once again, they want us to go to hell. They know Yah is real. This is why they're constantly pushing New Age, all this crap down our throats. And like I told you about this sister Maranatha, you guys should read this book. This is interesting. Another thing I want to say too real quick is that some people say this too, because I've heard this. Oh, Saya, guess what I saw? I saw my uncle. He came to me in my house or my apartment, and he told me this. And I get chills listening to this, because I know right then and there, that's a demonic spirit. And the people that I've told this told me that I was jealous, I was hating, I just was angry that they were, tapping into something deeper, and that these loved ones that visited them were there just to love them. Family, demons are not going to come to you as demons. That's why they have to deceive us. They're going to come shiny. They're going to come smelling good, fancy, looking top notch. All this is to deceive us. And once again, the Bible clearly states, stay away from the dead. They know nothing. But time and time again throughout history, people continuously are trying to communicate with dead relatives or dead loved ones. Stay away from it. And last but not least, I want to go ahead and say this too. On the second part right here, where it says satanic agencies in human form will take part in this last great conflict. Satanic agencies in human form, what does that sound like? What is that? That's a demon taking on human form. That sounds like a clone or a robotoid. And I'm not trying to go over you guys' head with this video, but I want us to think. I want us to be sharp on all cylinders and making sure that we're not deceived. Because I'm telling you right now, if you think the government is not sitting back doing this to some individuals, trying to deceive them, and it would be a shame to see. And if you guys have a testimony about this, I'm hoping to hear it. It'll be a shame to hear that maybe some of our relatives have passed away a long time ago, and the people that we communicate with, that we think that's our uncles, we think that's our aunties, have replaced by clones or demons, and they're teaching a lot of heresies. Like I said, not a lot. I have a couple relatives in my family who I'm starting to question, because at one time they were sold out believers. Now, and I know as you get older, your appearance change, but their appearances have changed, and they're pushing a lot of demonic teachings and doctrines, and I'm starting to question wow, this may not be them after all. And if it's not, hopefully we can get answers. If we get into heaven, I would like to ask the Holy Spirit that, because some things he won't reveal to us on earth. We have to be patient. But I would love to know from the Heavenly Father, Mashiach, are some of these people that we're communicating with in our family, are these basically people who have been killed a long time ago, which they may not have died from a bullet. They could have died through natural causes. We don't know. And these people now have been replaced from your big brother government as demons, and we're thinking that these are our relatives. So you guys get that book, check that out. Make sure that we're reading our Bibles, working out, drinking our water. And I hope that I didn't go over you guys' head with this, because if this woman Maranatha told us about this decades ago, I'm pretty sure that this stuff is too good. I mean, I'm pretty sure that this is accurate and we need to be looking out for it. You guys take care. Have a fantastic morning.